Venture Catalyst is a 501c3. We're what's called an ecosystem development group. And so we focus on large-scale entrepreneurial ecosystem endeavors. That could be an event, that could be a connection, and that could be molding a company from anywhere from ideation stage all the way to growth stage, and getting them investors and biz dev partnerships. We are headquartered here in Detroit, and the broad majority of our work is in Detroit and focused in companies in southeastern Michigan, but we also have work throughout the US and even some overseas. We have venture funds that we work with directly. Some of them might sponsor an accelerator. The targets are really going to be high growth, high scale. Our goal is to optimize the people who get into the program and optimize what they do next when they come out of the program. In the midst of this pandemic and in the midst of all the things that are happening, I think there's a concern about relationships, and the world of venture and investment is really, really focused on building relationships. Right now, people are doing a ton of virtual events, but now you have to apply to it a different way. Maybe you come prepared knowing who's going to speak at the event with questions that not only pertain to what they're talking about in the midst of the event, but also say that you've spent some time researching their work. It's a lot more work, and you have to be prepared, because it's not going to be, you can't rely on personality and getting in their face. You're going to have to be a company that can show that not only can it thrive right now during the pandemic, but show that it knows how to adapt during the pandemic. What we have here is we have kind of like that perfect recipe for how people can build a business. So we have a massive, massive amount of people who are tech adjacent and have that skill set. We're one of the largest populations of tech and engineering talent outside of Silicon Valley. So that's part one. Part two is we talk about just that need and that ability to thrive when you don't have all the pieces. Early on, when we were starting some of this stuff, we'd be invited to national calls. The question would be like, why is Detroit on this call of like these hot, thriving entrepreneurial systems? But now people are waiting for us to get on the call because they've seen what we can do. When you're here in Detroit, you have other folks who definitively want you to win, and they're actively doing moves to help you win. Whether that's tips, that's resources, that's putting in a good word, that's making connections, whatever those things are. They're not only working on their own business, they're working on making a way for their neighbor's business and those that are coming behind them. That is a really, really key part to being an effective ecosystem. Yes. It's actually something that we've focused on high tech, high scale versus small business, brick and mortar. With the high tech, high scale, we are looking for companies that have that ability to scale beyond borders. And that border, it could be just outside of, they don't need a direct salesperson in order to get their next customer, but it's also looking at, do they have something that is easily adaptable to other markets and other customers, other biz dev partners. So I wouldn't say necessarily that it's a part of the decision-making process, but it's definitely something that rounds out like strategy, that's something that rounds out how we meet people, how we vet people, and then being at one of those events and the ability to kind of get a feel for how they pitch, how they present themselves. Those are super key as we are doing other things down the line that are more due diligence focused on figuring out if they're a fit or not for a program or some sort of investment opportunity. Fun fact about me, I adopted my nieces. I've had custody of them since they were little, and right now they are home doing virtual school, and we'll be watching this hopefully online soon.